Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the Turbo John YouTube channel. Randy, what are you doing?
Just chilling.
Brian, Keith,
Christmas time.
Randy. Oh boy, what you got here? Everybody's been asking, what's up with Randy Eller's car? It's back in the shop. So me, Brian, and Keith, and Randy, we're gonna put some little goodies in. He finally pieced some parts and pieces together, and we're gonna put this thing back together. So he's trying to get fire in the hole soon. What you got? You know, if it was still blower, we could have it cranked up tonight. But he made a couple changes.
A few changes. All for the better, we hope. And we visited Mr. Kevin Mullins, as y'all can see, and Mark Mickey came to town.
Ooh boy, M&M Racing, check that out. He sold his Power Glide, and he got him a 400, 2-speed 400. He's contemplating going 3-speed with an overdrive with lockup, but
That deal was for Radio versus the World Racing. not Radio.
so this is nice. This is a nice piece. It's got billet converter down there.
I sold that little green streetcar and my transmission and my converter and was able to come up with that.
That's awesome. So we'll see. It's got the dump valves on it. We'll see how that stuff works out. We've never messed with any of that. It should spool up fine. That looks like it's a 10.5 or 11-inch converter. Man, what you waiting on, Mr. Eller? Let's crack this stuff open. We got stuff to do. No, this is yours. This is like unwrapping presents, Christmas. We're about to have a wheel failure down here on this thing. That wheel, I hope we need to get it off that cart before that motor falls over in the floor. I don't think it'd be nice to let it fall over in the floor. No. So this is the same motor that we had last year, essentially. The motor is changed. Well, when we took it to TKM, y'all saw in the last video where we pulled it apart, we lifted some ring lands. So it was getting pistons and rods anyway. So I took it up to TKM. They found a few issues in the bottom end with a line bore issue, so they got that straightened out. Same crankshaft, new pistons, new rods.
New everything.
Basically, everything's new. So let me tell you what's not new. The block is not new. The crankshaft is not new. The heads are not new. But all the components in the heads are. The camshaft is, the belt drive. Y'all saw last time too, the reason we took the motor out, the reason our season ended early is it skipped a tooth on the timing belt. So he's changing all that stuff. And the biggest thing is there's going to be no more whine in this thing. The supercharger is gone, so it is going to be turbo. Still trying to figure out what turbo to go with, which one's going to be available. Everybody in the small block boost class that we run with, they're running the Precision 118. Jose at Forced Inductions, we love his stuff. He's coming out with a 110 and a 114 which is a GT55 base turbo. So we may go with that. I don't know. I guess it depends. Brian was working on his some more. He's getting this thing. It's all shined up. Yeah, just leave it in the bubble wrap. In the bubble wrap. God, this thing's looking good over here too. So this thing still dry sump. They did go, instead of having the balancer with the 4 crank or the 4 magnet pickup, now it's got the 36. It's got this 36-1 on the pickup down there, so that's awesome. That stuff makes it super reliable on the timing. So that's easy. Boy, they wrap it good.
Yeah, they do. I think they wrapped it and then put it on the engine stand.
That's to make it more difficult. You know, it's like when you get presents, you got to make it more. The more difficult it is, it's like layers, right?
Yeah.
So the more you peel off, the better it is. All right, so we're going to unwrap this stuff. Well, Randy's unwrapping it. It's going to take a little while to get it all off. It is shrink wrapped good. We're going to unbolt the transmission. So what our goal is tonight, the transmission mounted up to the motor, torque converter, and set it in the car. I don't think we'll have any problem. We should be able to do that pretty easy. Got a different mount. We'll get to check the transmission, the cross member. We'll get to check the drive shaft length, see if the drive shaft length is right. Hopefully it is. I mean, we can go ahead and hook up, put the injectors in it, go ahead and get the wiring harness back on it. We're going to use his headers from last year, but where they come down at the collector down here, I don't know if y'all remember, at one point last year, it had 3-inch collectors or 3.5s, and we took those off and put 4s on it, trying to make it better for the blower car. And so, was it 4.5? Wow, that's big. So we're going to use those, weld those collectors on, and then we're going to make a merge and go to the front of the car. And hopefully we're going to be able to get it low enough to where, I mean, the turbo is going to be about where the blower was. I mean, I think that's the plan, ain't it? I mean, it should be pretty easy to do down there. We'll use one of the scavenge suctions off of one of the stages of the oil pump, and that'll get the oil out of the turbo, so we shouldn't have a problem. And then on his oil filter, oh, it's not, it's in a box somewhere. In his oil filter, there should be a feed so we can get clean oil to the turbo that is filtered. So we're excited. All right, here we go.
This one has got removable pads that bolt to the torque converter. So it's
In and out. Gotcha. So that's shit you gotta know when you go before you go together.
Can you reach in there and make sure the converter spins right now before?
So at this point, we're just simply trying to check the torque converter spacing to make sure we got somewhere between the 125 thousandths and 187 thousandths between the flex plate and the pads on the converter. This converter has bolt-on shims, and with those shims attached to the converter, it would not work. So we're going to have to remove those, but then we run into another problem. We did not realize that we didn't have the pilot adapter. Okay, so just like that, we are done. Notice the transmission is still not bolted to the motor. So something that we failed to look at when Randy sold his other Power Glide with converter on a small block Chevrolet, this is 1.7 inches, and on a small block Ford is 1.37. So we need a pilot adapter to go in there. Now there's some people that run these without the adapter, but that's probably not suggested for a long period of time. If we were trying to race this weekend, it would be bolted together and in the car already. But since it's not, we're not racing for a little while with this one. We're just going to order an adapter and then slide it back together later. You can see, I mean, it's going to go right back in. We shouldn't have any big issues. He's got a different motor mount or transmission mount here for the Turbo 400. It's going to be slid back a little bit. But other than that, I mean, it ought to go pretty smooth. Now, one of the things Randy's, his does not have these real long shocks. Some of the newer shocks have 7 inches, 8 inches of travel. So we don't have that on his. I think we'll be fine. So we're going to wheel it all back in, get it out of the way, and then come back in a day or two whenever he gets the pilot adapter. Well, since that's as far as we can go on Randy's, let's go ahead and go take a ride in the drift car again.
it.